Originally designed by Charles Moneypenny, the same architect who created Daytona International Speedway, Michigan is best known for awesome speeds and competitive racing spawned by its broad racing surface and 73-foot wide, 18-degree bank turns. Michigan's width and steep banking ensure there's always more than one racing groove, and the fact that MIS is not a super speedway means drivers have more than enough power to make a challenge out of the turns at both ends of the track. Once upon a time, Indy cars frolicked on those high banks at breathtaking speeds. Witness to Paul Tracy's record qualifying lap of 234.949 miles per hour. Today, Michigan regularly vies with Daytona, Talladega, and Texas as NASCAR's fastest speedway, with Jeff Gordon holding the NASCAR Cup Series record at 206.558 miles per hour. Richard Petty, David Pearson, Bobby and Davey Allison, Dale Sr. and Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson have all added their names to the roll call of MIS winners, one that also includes names like Andretti, Foyt, Unser, Mears, and Zanardi from the days when Indy cars raced in the Irish Hills. Allison to Yarborough, Andretti to Zanardi, the world's greatest race drivers, have been coming to Michigan to test their mettle for more than 40 years. Tonight, it's segment 2, race number 1 of the IROC Challenge Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Michigan Speedway. Race 1 of segment number 2 of the IROC Challenge Series about to get underway. Practice, qualifying, all in the books. Warm-up in progress now. Just about a couple of minutes left in this session. Let's take a look at the details for this evening. 100 laps will be the race distance tonight. 65-degree ambient temperature, 45% humidity, clear skies, barely any breeze at 2 miles per hour. Track temperature 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Full fuel loads on board tonight. 3 sets of tires available over the wall, and 1 fast repair to work with if so needed. 3 green-white checkers, again, if it comes down to it. Best times in the warm-up session so far. It's the 3 of Brian McCann back atop the timing tower. 39:52 is his time for the time being. Again, my apologies, folks. A little under the weather here tonight, so might not be quite as energetic as you might be used to, but we'll certainly do our best. McCann with a fresh paint scheme for this segment. Bit of a Dale Jr., Dale Sr. hybrid scheme with the Bud 8 colors and the black 3 at the front. Then you got AC Delco on one side, the Oreo paint scheme on the other. Looking pretty cool. Chuck Sweeting right now in the number 57, that black and green machine, 4th quick on the board thus far. In the tire tracks of the 57 is Brandon Mefford. He is 5th quick. Hearing from some of the drivers tonight, Mike Cook in the IROC chat says she's a loose one tonight, little tail happy. Have to keep a close eye on that this evening. "21 cars taking a time in warm-up, 27 unofficially to take the green flag here tonight. Clock strikes 0 on the session. That will complete our 10-minute warm-up here from Michigan Speedway. That'll take us to our starting grid here in just a moment. Well, let's get to it. On the pole position tonight, the number 83 with a lap time of 39.564 seconds. It's Brandon Mefford. Outside front row, missed it by 74 thousandths. A pretty good lap for Mefford there. Brian McCann's going to start in the 2nd spot. Row 2, Jesse King is back in the EWR Motorsports number 22. To his outside will be the 27 of Casey Bentz. Row 3, Garrett Johnston from Charity Motorsports. Mike McDonald will flank him. Starting in row number 4, it'll be Brent Butler and Jason Nilgis. Row 5, Steve Durbin and William Tyndall. Starting the 11th position, it's the familiar number 12 of Tim Schofield. To his outside, it's the 46 of Chris Mefford. Starting 13th is the number 75 of Chris Wally. Larry Bruner in the 44 starts 14th. Neil Quick will roll from the 15th spot. Starting 16th will be the 4 of Newt Quick. 17th, Adam Benefield. 18th, Joshua Mears. 19th starter is Todd Kleek, which I've been corrected this week. Todd is the father of Zachary Kleek. We'll cover that later on. Mike Cook, 20th, and there he is. Zach Kleek in the 77, starting 21st. I kept calling them brothers. Grady Ray in the 25 entry will start 22nd. 23rd, there's another familiar name, the 51 of Kyle Turzak. 24th is Chuck Sweeting. 25th, Doug Wysocki. Josh Funkhauser, the 81, will start 26th. Matt Kopp from Charity Motorsports rounding out the field in his number 50 in the 27th spot. Your starting grid here from Michigan Speedway as the field takes to the racetrack. Behind the pace car for just one lap before we take the green flag. Looking at the race details yet again, 100 laps the race distance, 200 miles. Relatively cool sunny day here in Michigan, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 45% humidity, clear skies, barely any breeze at 2 miles per hour. Track temp up a couple of degrees at 110 with these clear skies. Full fuel load on board, 3 sets of tires over the wall, 1 faster pair, 3 green-white checkers available for the taking. Of course, we always hope that we don't have to use them, but they're there if we need them. Pace car makes the left turn into pit lane, doesn't hit the barrels at the end of pit lane. Green flag in the air, Mefford to lead him down. Brian McCann to the outside. Field off of turn number 2. The battle out front now with the 22 of Jesse King. Brandon Mefford to the outside. King quickly takes the top spot as they roll down into turns 3 and 4. Jesse King might be a new name to some of you folks out there, but not an unfamiliar one to many of these IROC Challenge drivers. Jesse's been out here running with these guys many a time over the last few years. Good to see him back behind the wheel. We're right on board with Jesse here. Just listen to the throttle inputs as we're in the driver's eye camera here. This is all courtesy of Whiplash Sim Cams. But he's very easy on that throttle. Just gently lifts off, gets into the corner. Listen to him pick it back up on corner exit. Gentle, gentle, just barely pushing that right foot down. Doesn't even sound like he's wide open on the straightaway here. This might just be conservation mode for the 22. We'll have to keep a close eye on that as this race continues on. Not saving too much. He's out in front with a 3/4 second advantage over the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Battle for the second spot may be contested here quickly. Brian McCann running third in that number 3 machine. Mefford still second. Last lap for the race leader was a 39.74. Mefford ran a 90 and McCann an 86. 3 drivers at the front of the field, all below 40 seconds. McCann steps out again, looks to the bottom of the racetrack. Casey Bentz is going to maybe go with him, but McCann gets the position to the inside of Mefford. Will he be able to carry that speed off of 2? Doesn't look like it. Mefford with the top lane, able to carry the momentum down the backstretch. McCann has to settle back in behind. Jesse King starting to stretch his advantage out now, just over half a second back to Mefford, McCann, Benson, Butler. That's your top 5 as they run. 6 laps go up on the board. Mefford still in the second spot. McCann still trying to find a way around, just being calculating about it, not pushing the issue too much as he's got the 27 of Casey Bentz right the back door. Field starting to separate out. 2nd through 6th still nice and tight together, but King still enjoying a comfortable lead for the time being. McCann now going back to the whip here, looking to the inside of Mefford off turn number 2. Side by side, gets a nose out in front. May have the run now to the backstretch, and indeed he does. Gets clear of Mefford, so move McCann back up into the second spot where he began tonight's race. Oh, Casey Bentz real loose off turn number 4, but he gathers it back up. Drops down to the bottom of the racetrack onto the apron. We got some conversation about that pre-race, about how these cars were a little bit loose on corner exit. He gathered it up, though, and in fact, he hangs on to the 5th position for the time being. Now he's got Garrett Johnston, though, hunting in the 15, the white car up top of the racetrack. I guess we call it the white and blue plaid machine. I guess it looks like that. Kind of a tablecloth pattern. As Johnston jumps up into the 5th spot. Here, we'll get a real close look at it. I guess it kind of looks like a tablecloth. Nice summer picnic. Johnston's case, looking for a nice Sunday drive. So Bentz, after his moment off turn 4 a moment ago, slips back to the 6th position. Meanwhile, Brandon Mefford starting to shed positions as well as he's down into 3rd, might lose 4th. He battles back around the outside of Brent Butler. That's the number 76 Ford. Butler tucks back in behind Mefford as they get back into turn number 3. You know what? I'm going to date myself here. I'm looking at this number 76 of Brent Butler, and I may have said this in a previous broadcast, but if you throw some I Love New York, or maybe it was Red Apple decals on the side of this car and change that 6 to a 1, that's a throwback to early to mid-90s Dave Marcus. I know it's just an iRacing scheme, but it still stirs up some memories. '15 Garrett Johnston still able to hang on to the 5th spot ahead of Casey Bentz. Bentz started in 4th. Again, remember he had a moment there off turn 4 a few laps ago. See if he's able to regroup here, put the pressure back on Johnston to take that spot back. Want to remind everybody we've got both stream chats open and available to really anybody. You don't need to be a subscriber, but we hope that you are. Jump in, say hey, whether it's an IROC TV or an HBR TV. In both chats, they are available to do so. Just keep it PG for us, but tell us your thoughts. Where are you watching from? Who's your driver? Just say hey, whatever you want to do. Ah, Bentz real loose again, chasing it up the racetrack. Was in a 4-wheel drift there for just a moment. Bentz in the Lakeland College number 27. Still on the aggressive, though. Looking to the inside of Johnston. Takes a peek off of turn number 2, but Johnston slams the door, goes back up the racetrack, has the run. go on board here with Casey Benson. Watch, see if he's got to chase the race car up the track this time. Yep, a little correction, another correction, more correction. It's a left turn, folks, and he's turning to the right more than anything. And Butler gets into the 15. We got trouble off turn 4. Both drivers spinning down here in the tri-oval. No caution yet. Johnston's going to drive away. It looks like Butler may as well, but still no yellow. Butler coming back up the apron, but they spun so quickly down to the bottom of the racetrack that it does not trigger a caution. Tough break for both of those drivers. Let's get a look at it here. Just a moment ago, we were on board with Casey Bentz, but this is from the tower. Butler gets into the fence, and it sends him right down into the path of the 15 to Garrett Johnston. They both spin down to the infield grass, getting a piece of the inside pit wall. Right into victory lane. That's not where he wants to be right now, but by the end of the race, that'd be a great goal, but not a great way to get there. So still out front, Jesse King with the lead, but that lead has shrunk from over half a second to just under a tenth. As McCann makes a move to the inside in 3 for the race lead. I don't know if he's got enough here. Might just be feeling out the 22, but Jesse's not going to put up a whole lot of resistance, it doesn't seem, at least at this stage of the race. We got Anthony Mears in the IROC TV chat saying, go Josh Mears in the 36. Anthony, thanks for checking in, saying hello. We certainly appreciate that. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead is on, and McCann gets clear and takes the top spot as King is a little bit loose off turn number 2. Has to correct. So Jesse King back into the 2nd spot. Mefford now 3rd. Bentz back to 4th. McDonald 5th. Mefford up the racetrack, way up out of the groove into the loose stuff. Chased it up, doesn't get the wall, and keeps his foot in it, it appears. I want to ride on board here with the 83 and kind of see what it looks like from his perspective. In dirty air, that car might be a little bit tighter, which is kind of what some of these guys might be looking for, at least on exit. We've seen a lot of these cars stepping out the rears out of the corner. Mefford doing a pretty good job there. Not a whole lot of opposite turning there to try and correct the cards. He gets alongside Jesse King for position. And the yellow is out.
Give me your 10th there, bud.
Not sure what we have here, but we'll take a peek at it. Matt Kopp possibly. Yep. Kopp trying to get regathered here. Still some smoke off of turn number 2 as he comes up the track. I don't know if he didn't see Butler coming, but that could have been another moment right there. First caution of the night. Let's get a look. Kopp was battling with the 45. Try it here from the drone camera and see what the drone picks up. I think Kopp was given plenty of room. Cleek may have just come down out of the corner just a hair, and I don't know if that's... I don't think he was trying to pinch the 50 there. I think that's just a matter of trying to hang on to the race car. These cars have been so loose. A little oversteer on corner exit means they turn too well, and when that happens, of course, you can kind of do what just happened there. The 45 coming down, making contact with the 50 on exit, and well, that's all she wrote. So we'll cross the stripe, put lap 18 up on the board. I believe we were expecting a competition caution about lap 25. I'm not sure if we're going to still get that here with this caution coming out now. Be a little bit premature, but I guess it could kind of go either way. Do a short run to lap 25 once we go back green and then call another yellow. I'm going to try and watch this from Todd Cleek's perspective here just a moment ago. Watch. Let's see here. Hang on. Back it up just a bit. We'll go real time. See if we can see any issue here where they get loose. Yeah, a little correction, and he turns left back down and just gets into Matt Kopp. Tough break for both of them. But, again, one faster pair available for these drivers here tonight, so that's the benefit. That small incident, though it damages the race car, normally without a faster pair, very well would have put them out of contention here, but they still got an opportunity, still a chance. Faster pair allows them to get the car fixed. Cleek, unfortunately, a lap down. Mike Cook says into the chat in HBR TV, says, using a choose line on 1 to go. I'll have to get with Chris Wally on that. I don't know if we've tried that yet this season. Is it just for the leaders? Is it the whole field? I think it's a cool idea. If the whole field gets to do it, it's going to be tough to enforce without a live admin, which they might have. I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes they have in the past, sometimes they don't. Mike Cook says, new this season. Is it new this segment, or did we do it with the trucks? Because we ran 9 races over there, and I didn't hear about it. It's not to say that it wasn't happening. I just might have missed it. Yes, it's quite possible. Something that's new this season is we've broken down the season into segments in different vehicles. We just finished up segment 1, which is 9 races in the trucks. This begins segment 2, which will be 9 more races in the Xfinity cars. Then we switch over to segment 3, which will be Cup. And then segment 4 is a combination. Trucks, Xfinity Cup, Trucks, Xfinity Cup, and so on. Very different format this season 9. It kind of makes things exciting. Keeps guys interested. And Mike Cook confirms it is the whole field. So that's pretty neat. I like that. Pace car hits pit lane.
Flag.
There it is, green back in the air. A couple drivers spinning the tires, coming up to speed. McCann wasn't one of them as he jumps right out in front. Tyndall in the 6th position, jumping out of line into the inside here, looking for the 5th spot, trying to take that from Chris Mefford. Chris Mefford in the number 46 machine up in the 5th spot. Now as we ride with the 46 of Chris Mefford, you look at your screen here, it shows the 46. Oh, real loose. Tyndall having trouble off turn number 2, collecting other drivers. Multiple truck or car incident for that matter. Neil Quick spun around. He gets contact. Tyndall initially the one to get sideways. Puts us under yellow yet again. Well, well, well. Try and get a look at it here, see what happened just a moment ago. It starts, like I said, William Tyndall in the 8 machine. Back it up. Now watch the 2 of Neil Quick. He's down at the bottom of that old Rusty Wallace Miller Lite scheme. The blue deuce, as it were. Up top is the 8. That's Tyndall. Gets a little loose on exit, has to correct, tank slaps it a bit, and he gets crossed up in front of these drivers. Sweeting's going to make some contact. Quick and just trying to avoid. I think he just turns hard right in front of Kopp, and it sends him up the racetrack into traffic. See Neil still trying to drive that thing to keep it from hitting anything else. Driver still trying to scatter. But with that, it puts us in a situation here where driver's going to take an opportunity to pit now. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this will become our comp caution. This is much closer, of course, to that lap 25 where we typically would have a comp caution. Mefford making a bit of a mistake on pit entry there. Has to back the car up to get into his pit box. That's going to cost him some time. McCann's finished up with his pit work. He's going to be down and away. Jesse King out second. Chris Mefford will be out third, it looks. A couple drivers stayed out here. Brent Butler, Nuke Quick. Remember, Butler was involved in that first caution, so he made the pit stop around lap 17 just a few 5 laps ago. Nuke Quick, however, he stays out. He has not made a pit stop yet. So going back to what we were talking about here a moment ago, just as the caution came back out, you see there's a 44 on the side of Chris Mefford's machine. It's the wrong number. Typically he runs the 46, just an oversight. I'm sure Chris will get that squared before we get back at it here next week. And we got Shane Irby in the IROC chat saying, go Bents number 27. Shane, thanks for checking in and saying hello. We appreciate it. While we're under caution, let's make that special note here, folks. Click the thumbs up, will you? That helps with quite a few things. Most importantly, it pushes the broadcast and then later on the video out to some wider audiences. Get some fresh eyeballs on the stream, on the channel, and of course on the IROC Challenge Series as a whole. Got a good field here tonight at 27 cars, but Chris Wally and IROC, I'm sure, would take more if anybody's out there looking for a solid league. IROC's been around a while. They know how to make this thing run. So as we get ready for a restart, see the pace car lights are out. So half a lap away from green flag racing again. It'll be the 76 of Brent Butler on the front row in the top spot. To his outside, the 4 of Nuke Quick. Pace car is in. Much better entry for the pace car here in Michigan than it is at Phoenix. Don't have to worry about hitting the pit wall. Green's back in the air. Butler with a good restart over Brian McCann. Nuke Quick drops back a spot in third. Oh, Mefford a little loose off turn number 2. Gathers it, keeps away from the 22 of King. William Tyndall having a moment off of 2 as well. Everybody gets through clean. Quarter distance in the books as the field works out of turn number 4. Butler's going to lead him back to the stripe. Remember, he made a pit stop just prior to this caution on the previous caution that he was involved in. How quickly the tables have turned. Butler going from worst to first just like that. Butler hanging on to the lead for now, but McCann with a big run to the outside down into turn number 1. Here comes Chris Mefford, Jesse King as well, but McCann is flying. Shot out of a cannon, but he gets into the back of the 76 of Butler. Butler chases it down the racetrack off turn number 2, saves the race car, but loses a ton of ground, and we got more trouble just ahead. Caution is out. Chris Mefford and the 22 of Jesse King involved in this. Everybody's going to drive away, but just like that, we are under yellow yet again. I think this may have started with Mefford, and at first glance, it looks like he just got loose mid-corner and it's drove it right into the back of Butler, which of course sent the 76 down the racetrack. He did a masterful job to save the race car, but let's try to get a slower look at this. Try and confirm exactly how it went down. This is a little after. Let's back it up. So watch the 44. That's Chris Mefford. Yeah, you can see it's already hung out. Right rear is already in the wind. So he's loose, trying to chase it down the racetrack. Tries to correct, but he's got some momentum still. Just barely touches the 76 of Butler. Butler's going to go for a ride down the racetrack. Man, he did such a great job. So many times you see him go right back up the racetrack and just into traffic in that instance. Here comes the 51. I think that black machine is Terzak. Yes, it is. A little bit of contact made there with King. Gets him crossed up, and then more contact with Chris Mefford. And then Mefford's going to go hard left right into the door of Jesse King. Big time hit for both drivers. Again, fast repair available. They're going to probably burn that here. So Mefford in the pits here, and it looks like he does not use that fast repair. He's going to try and get this thing fixed. Or he just might be done. I'm not sure. You just don't know if the guys maybe forget to check the fast repair and then it doesn't get used when you need it. Or sometimes there's guys that just call it a night. Mefford not a full-time driver, at least as far as I know. He might just be out here trying to pick up some wins. So Field's still behind the pace car here. Pace car light's still on. Should get the one to go here at lap 30. And again, as we said, Terzak and that black number 51. No sponsors on board the 51 this season, at least in this segment. Kind of surprising. Very, very fast. Remember last season, season 8, they ran the late model stock, and he just completely dominated. So, as we expected, on the one to go. Lap 31 will get the restart. Top 10 in various orders as they jockey positions here. McCann, Terzak, Bentz, Schofield, Mike Cook, Brandon Mefford, Steve Durbin, Brent Butler, Mears and Tyndall, your top 10. Looks like McCann's going to lead them back to green. We got Corey D in the HBR TV chat. Says, go fast, turn left. All right. It seems like a lot of these guys are having to turn right when they get out of the corners to keep it from coming all the way around. I do like when we turn right, though. Got some road racing coming up this season. Pace cars in. Barney with the green. Waves the flag. We're back underway for Michigan. McCann underpowered. Turzak times it decent. Not perfect, but decent. Has the opportunity. Keeps it to the outside. Doesn't drop down below. McCann's going to switch it up, though. He's going to go way up the racetrack trying to dump the dirty air on the 51 as they work down into turns 1 and 2. Meanwhile, battle for the third spot, maybe fourth as well. Schofield to the outside of Brandon Mefford as they work out of 2. Mefford clears, gets in front of the 12. Mefford to 4th. Meanwhile, Turzak putting pressure on Brian McCann for the race lead as the 51 drops to the bottom of the racetrack out of turn number 4, side by side, or at least partially. McCann not willing to tuck back in, back to the line. McCann leads that lap, but will he lead the next one? McCann there, side by side with Turzak. Turzak still on the bottom of the racetrack. McCann trying to work the side draft. Might have been a little bit of contact there. And Turzak takes the top spot from McCann. McCann switches lanes, looks to the inside in turn 3, trying to get it back. Side by side, the battle continues. Starting to become a repeat of the late model stock series we ran last season. These guys were at each other's throats all season long. It continues now at Michigan Speedway. Side by side of the line. I don't know who led that lap. It says Turzak, but I don't know if it's right. Still side by side as they battle into 1. Meanwhile, the 27 of Casey Bentz is closed in as they continue to run side by side in front of them. Impressive considering the dirty air that's being created by those 2 cars that were running side by side. Now the backstretch, Turzak retakes the top spot, gets clear of McCann. Turzak planning ahead here, not letting McCann get back to the inside. Seen many times this race already where the outside was the preferred lane, but Brian McCann able to make it work on the bottom. And there we have it again. McCann steps out of line in turn number 2. Sticks the nose to the inside of Kyle Turzak. Back into 3. We got a side-by-side battle for the lead again. How does it look from Casey Bentz's perspective as he runs in a 3rd spot while these 2 fast, hot shoes at the front of the field exchange blows? Lap 36 up on the board. Casey Bentz just looking for an opportunity where these 2 make a mistake. Oh, real loses Bentz again. Handling issues rearing their ugly head yet again for the 27 of Bentz. He hangs on to it, though, maintains the 3rd spot. But, man, that was a little hairy off turn number 4. Meanwhile, the battle for the race lead continues. Turzak trying to take full advantage of the outside momentum. Does so and clears McCann off turn number 2. McCann not willing to go quietly, still just a few feet off the back bumper of the 51. Takes a peek again into turn number 3, not close enough to make a huge challenge. May have to tuck back in. On board with Terzak once again. McCann taking a peek to the bottom. Terzak trying to close the door. Now, keep in mind, folks, Terzak started 23rd here tonight. I don't know if it was that for a lack of qualifying or if he just had a bad run, but did not take him long as we're still about 12 laps shy of halfway to get to the front. Past a lot of cars to get there. Brent Butler in the 8th spot, starting to work his way back through, battling with the 16 of Michael McDonald. Butler taking a peek, drops it to the bottom here at start-finish. Side by side for a moment. We'll see if McDonald can carry the momentum through 1 and 2 or if Butler can clear. So Butler gets around the 16 of McDonald, moves him up into the 7th spot, right where he started. Butler's been doing a great job here tonight. Had some bad luck there earlier on in the race, brought out our first caution. Or was it the second? Now I'm already lost. Either way, he's had some struggles, but he's rebounded every time. Led some laps right after that incident. Now he's back into the top 10. Now looking for 6 from Tim Schofield. He's around the outside here, might have it done. And he does. Clear off turn number 2. Mefford stepped out for a minute, applying some pressure to Casey Bentz. This will be for the 3rd spot. Brian McCann taking a peek to the bottom again, but doesn't quite have the momentum in the run that he was able to have about 5-6 laps ago. Maintains his position about a car length off the back bumper of the 51 of Kyle Terzak. Meanwhile, Casey Bentz all over the 3. If he gets any closer, he's really going to start to loosen up that 3 car. Out of turn number 2, they're still okay. Bentz way up the racetrack, trying to stay off the wall. He does so, but that's going to slow his pace just a bit. Open the door for Brandon Mefford for the 3rd position. 83 machine to the inside, down into turn 3. Mefford slides it up the racetrack in front of the 27, takes the 3rd spot from Casey Bentz. Bentz thought about dropping to the bottom to retake it, but thinks better of it. Stays in line behind Mefford. Meanwhile, Butler and Mike Cook battling for position. Butler to the outside, Cook on the bottom in the Yoo-hoo machine. Love me a little Yoo-hoo and rum. If you know, you know. Ben's trying everything he's got to get clear of Brandon Mefford, but he keeps hanging that right rear into the wind. He's going to burn that thing off. It's just going to amplify the problem if he keeps doing that. He can only abuse the tires so much before they stop cooperating. Bentz real loose off of 2 yet again, but stays alongside Mefford. And now we got a battle for the lead again with McCann and Terzak. Top 4 side by side, all trying to battle for their spots. Bentz real loose, has to chase it up the racetrack, but he slides up in front of Mefford off turn number 4 and takes the spot back. Crossover possibly coming from Mefford as they get back to start-finish. Also, the lead changing hands, McCann and Terzak side by side. Yet again, it's some contact. As they get down into turn number 1, McCann bounces off the left door of the 51. Both drivers stay in it. Meanwhile, this side-by-side battle, while it's super exciting, it does make them run a little bit slower. It's allowed Brett Butler to reel both the top four, all four of the top four in to become part of this battle. He's right to the back bumper of Casey Bentz as we still have battles in the top four. Terzak leads that one. Bentz and Mefford still side by side as well. Great racing here at the front of the field. Might have been some more contact with McCann and Terzak. A little tire smoke from the three. He doesn't lift either. He's still in it off turn number 2. Terzak now finally clear of McCann, at least for the time being. Mefford the same with Bentz, but Bentz going back to the whip to the top side here to see if he can do anything with the 83. Butler just running in line here to see what these drivers are capable of and what it's going to take to get around them. Terzak driving in his mirror here, just waiting for a move from Brian McCann. Dropped into the inside, maybe a preemptive block, just assuming that the run was going to come from the 3. It wasn't there. Real loose on exit of 4 for the 51 of Terzak, though. Chases it up the racetrack and slows the advantage of McCann, but McCann has the run. He gets to the inside. Will we see contact again into turn 1? So far, so good. McCann not quite clear. Now he is. See if he can maintain it on the exit of turn number 2, or will Terzak have the run this time? Butler out of line, looking for some positions here to the inside of Bentz. Casey Bentz looking to the high side on Butler. Nothing doing there. Butler way up the racetrack himself. Not quite as far as Mefford was. Mefford almost scraping some paint off the right side of his car. Still out front, though, Brian McCann. It's starting to put some distance between himself and the 51. About 2 car lengths back to Kyle Terzak in second. Brandon Mefford third. Butler fourth. And Casey Bentz now fifth. Some lap traffic coming into play. Matt Kopp on the top side in that black number 50. Slightly off pace. Again, Kopp involved in an incident here earlier on. Last lap for McCann, only 0.02 of a second faster than second place Kyle Terzak. Kind of what we've come to expect out of these two drivers, so evenly matched at so many places. So as they cross the stripe here, it'll put us past halfway here from Michigan Speedway. 100 laps in the books. I'm sorry, 100 miles, that is, in the books. We're going to step aside, get a break out of the way. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Michigan Speedway, the IROC Challenge Series, Segment 2, race number 1 in progress. Brian McCann still out in front, now over Brent Butler in second. Kyle Turzak slipping back to the 6th position while we were away. So new top 5 is McCann, Butler, Brandon Mefford, Chuck Sweeting, and Casey Bentz. Following back up on Chris Mefford, he did rejoin the race and maintains his position on the lead lap. He is back in the 22nd spot. Still some time to go. A caution would certainly help the 44 get caught up to the field. So McCann with a healthy lead now, 6/10 back to the 76 of Butler. Mefford running in third, Sweeting right there, car length and a half, maybe 2 off the back of the 83. Casey Bentz again still in 5th. Garrett Johnston though, up into that 6th spot. Johnston started 5th. He's got a mirror full of Kyle Turzak. Turzak hanging that thing out in the wind too. Checking on Jesse King back in the 9th spot. Remember, Jesse was involved in our second caution of the night. Pretty significant impact, but he's got some repairs made to that 22 machine. He's still chasing it up the racetrack himself, but back into the top 10, trying to charge back towards the front. Neil Quick the same. Neil in 9th. And then number 2, Miller Lite machine. Change for position in 3rd as Sweeting gets alongside Mefford. He's clear. Sweeting that black and green number 57. No sponsors, no stickers, no nothing on the side of that machine. Running strong, though. Again, he started 24th here tonight. Now finds himself inside the top 3. Meanwhile, Mefford trying to hang on to the 4th position. He's got Casey Bentz pressuring. Bentz now to the inside of the 83. This is off turn number 4. Bentz doesn't have enough there. Has to tuck back in line. Sniff a draft off the 83. He loses a few car lengths now. It's about 3 back to Bentz. McCann still holding a 5 to 6/10 of a second advantage over the 2nd place machine of Brent Butler. Meanwhile, Garrett Johnston has decided to take to pit lane. This pit stop happening under green flag conditions. A little bit of nose damage on the 15. I don't know if that's new or if that's been there, but he misses the pit box, has to back up, loses some ground, uses the fast repair, putting right side tires on. Going to be a slow stop here for Johnston, as he did have a little bit of a mistake getting into the box. Drops the jack, and we wait. Now, he's still waiting here. He may have a penalty to worry about here. Pit stop was about 18 seconds, and we end up with a 58-second stop. Well, there's your 40-second stop and hold. We'll go check that later, but pit stop's underway here under green flag conditions. The 27 events comes down. So does Mike McDonald, Kyle Terzak, Zach Kleek, Todd Kleek. Garrett Johnston still sits in his box. Four tires and fuel for Bentz. Garrett Johnston drops the jack. He heads back out. 57:20. So, yes, it was a 40-second stop and hold. A 17.2-second stop with the mistake missing the box. But also looks like speeding on entry or unsafe entry. Hard to tell. Other drivers in. 2nd place, Brent Butler, Neil Quick, Schofield, Cook, Durbin, and Benefield. Another driver missing the box there. I think that might have been the 42 of Steve Durbin. Yes, it was. Had to back it up. That's going to cost him just a second or two. Now the race leader, Brian McCann, pulls it down pit lane. Chuck Sweeting, who is 2nd, he comes down as well. Now Brandon Mefford will inherit the top spot. He'll likely be next to hit pit lane. McCann, 4 tires and fuel. Quick stop, 14.82 for the 3. Now Brandon Mefford makes the hard left off turn 4 into pit road. Now at this stage of the game with 100% fuel load, I think these drivers should be good to go to the end. I don't necessarily know what the fuel window is tonight. Mefford in the pit box. Nice clean entry. As always, he's got Zoe's Place Child Advocacy Center on the hood of that Camaro. 4 tires and fuel for Mefford. Sunoco race fuel has gone in. He drops the jack, 14.83, a lightning fast stop from Mefford. He's back in the mix. Now Chris Wally takes over the top spot. Wally made a pit stop at lap 22. He's been able to stretch it quite a while. See if Wally comes down. Nope, he's going to stay out on the racetrack here for another trip around Michigan Speedway. Trying to go as far as he can on a full load of fuel. Knowing that this could potentially be his last stop of the race if he comes down to make it here shortly and loses connection. That's always scary. But this would give Wally the freshest set of tires if he waits till the bitter end. There's only a few drivers left to pit. That's Chris Wally, Chris Mefford, Larry Bruner. Now, Chris Mefford made a stop at lap 29. That was fuel and tires, so he can certainly stretch it a little bit longer. He runs second now, but if we go green all the way to the end and Chris makes his final pit stop here under the green flag later than everybody else, yeah, he'll lose some track position in the meantime, but he'll gain a lot of that back. Wally still out on the racetrack, stays out yet again. Wally keeping the car down low to the racetrack here. He's going to make that left turn finally here, come to pit lane. Larry Bruner's going to follow suit as well as the 44 comes down pit lane. Now this is the true 44 of Larry Bruner. Bruner, Wally has to back up in his box as well. Bruner into his box clean. So that puts Chris Mefford out to the point. Back out in front. The race lead. He's had struggles early on. Finds himself out front yet again. Lap 70 on the board, so 31 to go. He needs to make one more stop before he can call it a day. He's going to lose a bunch of ground here because, again, the second place machine at McCann is only 11 and a half seconds back right now. Again, they had 3 sets of tires over the wall tonight, so they've got some tires to work with if needed. Might see Mefford come down now. He's way down the yellow line. Nope, stays out. Now, I will say this, though. Look at the tire differential as far as Mefford and McCann. McCann came down in pit lap 64. Mefford pit lap 29. Both drivers took 4 tires at that point in time. Now, Mefford's last lap, 41.59. Over a whole second slower than Brian McCann. Again, Brian on fresher tires, so that's why he's catching him. Mefford going to lose some ground here to the 88 machine. Mefford back to the bottom of the racetrack yet again. Oh, contact at 25, right hooks him. Hard impact into the wall. He got a yellow that he didn't want for, well, because of himself. Yellow would have been great for the 44 if he could make the pit stop in that instance, but he's involved in this one, not what he wanted. Now, I got to ask, or at least make a comment here, he may have not used that fast repair early on. Remember, he was in the pits for quite a while, managed to stay on the lead lap, so this still might not be a coffin nail for the 46 of Chris Mefford. That was a very interesting issue there, though, but this, I don't know, this might actually still work out in his favor. There's still a lot of cars on the lead lap. He's going to be one of the only ones to make a pit stop here for tires in this circumstance, but he won't lose anywhere near the track position he would have if he had to make that pit stop under green. Now the question is, does he have that fast repair? That's going to be the deciding factor, is if this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing for Chris Mefford. Mefford's going to come down. Terzak's going to pit as well. I think Terzak knows he's got a set of tires and he needs to do all he can to get back up there. Well, let's watch the 46 here of Chris Mefford. That number 44/46 Titan machine. Is he not going to fix it? Right side tire change. Oh, man, I really don't think he used the fast repair earlier. Definitely not using it now. Tough break. This might be it here for Chris Mefford, unfortunately. Terzak down and away. He put 4 tires on. Maybe his last set. He's shown in 17th, so he's going to have some work to do. We may have the restart here with about 25 laps to go. Not saying it's impossible. If anybody can do it, Kyle Terzak can. So we'll try and go through the field here. Brian McCann, your race leader. Then it's Brent Butler, Chuck Sweeting, Casey Bentz, Brandon Mefford. That's your top 5. Mike McDonald in 6th. 7th is Neil Quick. Jesse King runs 8th. 9th, Mike Cook. William Tyndall, 10th. Steve Durbin runs in the 11th position. 12th is Doug Wysocki. 13th position, Adam Benefield. Josh Mears, 14th. 15th, Josh Nilgis. Zachary Kleek is 16th. Terzak, 17th. Tim Schofield is 18th. 19th is Todd Kleek. 20th belongs to Chris Wally. 21st position right now is Newt Quick. 22nd is Chris Mefford. He may have lost a lap right now. 23rd, Larry Bruner. Garrett Johnston, 24th. Matt Kopp, 25th. Grady Ray, 26th. Josh Funkhauser, 26th and out of the race. So pace car lights are out. So next time by, we'll get the restart. It'll be 26 laps to go. We go back to green. So field starting to double back up here as we approach turn 3. Drivers trying to get squared away in the back of the pack. They might wave this one off because we've got a big jumble out the back. So here we go. It'll be lap 75 when we take the restart here. 26 laps remain. McCann leads him down. Butler to the outside. Green flag back in the air. McCann on the throttle. Slow reaction for Butler as it opens the door for the 57 of Sweeting. Sweeting to the inside, looking for that second spot. So McCann with a big lead down the back straightaway, half a second plus back to Butler and Sweeting as they're still side by side for second. Mefford going to think about taking that spot back from Casey Bentz, but here comes Neil Quick. Quick in the number 2, Blue Deuce to the inside. Brandon Mefford as they work off turn number 4. Has to tuck back in, but no, stays there to the bottom. Going to try and sniff the draft off Sweeting. Bentz switches lanes. He goes to the inside, trying to avoid the attack from Brandon Mefford. Crosses back up, blocks the run from the 83. .25 laps to go here for Michigan Speedway. Brian McCann out in front, a big lead thus far. Still over half a second over the 57 of Chuck Sweeting. Battle for third is on. Casey Bentz and Brent Butler. Now Brandon Mefford going to take advantage. He's going to jump to the inside as well as Bentz gets clear of those two drivers. Off turn number 4, Mefford to the inside of the 76. Back to the stripe, 24 to go. close quarters battle between the 83 and the 76 through turns 1 and 2. Mefford on the bottom, Butler up top. Mefford keeps it pinned. Butler slips up the racetrack just a bit. It's going to open the door enough for Mefford to go up and clear Brent Butler, so move Mefford up to 4th. McCann was running away, but no longer. Sweeting has reeled him back in. They're on equal footing as far as tires are concerned. Top two, it's McCann and Sweeting. It's about a 10th and a half between the two of them. Mefford about a car length, maybe a half in front of the 57 of Sweeting as we come to 22 laps remaining. Kind of the same scenario back 3rd and 4th between Bence and Mefford. Mefford with a run off of 4, had nowhere to go with it. Jumps to the high side to try and see what he can pick up. Butler in the tire tracks of Brandon Mefford. Big wiggle from Bence again. We've seen this a bunch here tonight. Interesting, it's all driving style to what's causing this. We're running a fixed setup, so it's not that the 27 is just looser than everybody else. It's just a matter of how they're getting in and out of the corner. Bence now running in 4th, Mefford up to 3rd. Butler now pounding on the back door of the 27. Meanwhile, out front for the race lead, that battle's still hot and heavy. Sweeting trying to find an avenue to go around the 3, but it hasn't presented itself just yet. We continue to watch the battle between Bence and Butler. Butler to the outside off turn number 2. Bence going to likely lose this spot here. The 76 had a big run off of turn number 2, but now Bence is battling back into turn number 3. He drives it in deep into the bottom of the racetrack here, stays alongside Butler, and the caution comes out. Jesse King and William Tyndall involved in this one. Multiple drivers involved. And with 20 laps to go, we're under yellow yet again. Jesse King involved in this. I believe he certainly burned a faster pair early on. This one might be it for the 22. Let's try and get a look, see what happened. Contact with King and Tyndall. I want to watch this again here. I want to try and go onto the roof cam at Tyndall and see how it looks from his perspective. This is on board of the 8. See King to the bottom. And Tyndall just comes down about 1 tread width of the tire. But they were so tight on entry, they make contact. The hood blows off the 8 machine. Big time hit for the 22. But this is going to bring a lot of drivers down pit lane. Interestingly, of course, Brian McCann from the lead. He's going to come down in pit. But through all that, Neil Quick stays out. He inherits the top spot. Kyle Turzak stays out. Schofield stays out. So does Todd Kleek, Chris Wally, Nuke Quick. So your new top 6 going to be out there on older tires. We're running about lap 81 here. Give you the lap of when they pit last. Neil Quick came down at lap 63. Kyle Turzak was 72. Same for Tim Schofield. Same for Todd Kleek. Chris Wally was lap 68. And Nuke Quick was also lap 72. So that's not that they have terribly old tires, but they are older. By a matter of about 9 laps, let's say 8 if we're going to factor in the yellow. We're going to see how much fall off there really is between 8-lap tires and fresh tires. We go back green flag racing here momentarily. With that, we're going to take a very short break, get a word from, well, You're just going to watch it. Stay with us. As we operate still behind the pace car after that brief word from Track Limits Network. A little bit of a teaser, folks, but we'll just kind of fill you in a little bit here. Track Limits Network, a new broadcast network coming to a familiar league coming up in January. Stay tuned for more details. They'll become more available as the balance of 2024 unfolds. Some big changes going on here at HPR TV. So as you can see here at the front of the field, it's Neil Quick and Tim Schofield will be on the front row as we get ready for a restart here momentarily. And it's Kyle Turzak, Chris Walling, Todd Kleek, Chuck Sweeting, Nuke Quick, Brandon Mefford, Brian McCann, Brent Butler. That's going to be the top 10. Now, the drivers that made a pit stop and took 4 tires, the first one out there on fresh rubber, it's the 57 to Chuck Sweeting. Then you go down in position, Nuke Quick on older tires, only by about 9 laps, but then it's going to be the 83 of Brandon Mefford and Brian McCann. Pretty much everybody else south down the order from there on fresh rubber. Field in turn 4. Pace car about to hook left down the pit road.
Green.
Green flag in the air. Schofield trying to side draft already, or just trying to get the attention of the drivers to his outside. But side by side, they run down into turn number 1. Schofield and Quick. Schofield with a nose out in front of the 2 as they barrel down into turn number 1. Turzak runs third. Change of position already as the 57, using up them fresh tires right out of the gate. Into the 4th spot, off turn number 2. 3 wide for the race lead. Turzak to the inside, Schofield to meet in the sandwich, Quick to the top. 3 wide, they still battle, now down into turn 3. Turzak's going to slip up the racetrack a bit, lock the door off from Schofield, but Sweeting on the charge. He gets to the inside off turn number 4. Now we're 3 wide again here at the line. Sweeting taking full advantage of the fresh Goodyears underneath that number 57 Camaro as he wiggles the back of the car off turn number 2. Maintains the top spot. Turzak second. Third is Mefford. 4th is Quick. And 5th is Brent Butler. Laps remain here from Michigan Speedway. Chuck Sweeting out in front. Kyle Turzak runs second. Brandon Mefford now third. Battle continues for that second spot. Mefford looking to the outside of Turzak off turn 2. They make contact. Loosens up to 51 big time, but he saves it. How did everybody get through that one? Unbelievable driving by all involved. But the race continues. Schofield jumps up to second. McCann into third. He's got fresh tires. He's going to start to hunt the front himself. Sweeting out to the biggest advantage we've seen all day, over 1.1 seconds. Back to now Brian McCann in second. Schofield third, Bentz and Cook the top 5. That switches already. Cook up to 4th, side by side with Bentz. Sweeting just able to cruise for now, but he's got a big-time hornet's nest in the rear-view mirror. Mike Cook in the 85 Yoo-Hoo machine chasing the race car, very loose appearing through turns 1 and 2. Turzak has slipped back now to the 5th spot, again on older tires. Oh, Brandon Mefford up the racetrack into the 16, and we got a wreck here off of turn 4.
Caution
Tim
out.
Schofield involved, so is Michael McDonald. Yellow coming out with 13 to go. He just ran out of room up the racetrack, was trying to chase it. We'll get another look at it right now. Just wasn't clear. Gets into the 12 off of 4. Timmy was as high as he could get there. Nowhere else for him to go except into the fence. In fact, looks like Schofield got in the wall before contact was even made. So that's going to help Brian McCann pretty significantly here. Brian won't have to use up his stuff to reel in the 57. He gets that benefit with the caution coming out. But he has a very fast Casey Bentz in. They also got Mike Cook, Kyle Turzak in the mix as well. Again, looking at the top 4, though, they all have fresh tires. Now here comes Neil Quick and Schofield. So is Chris Wally and others going to come down and pit here, whether it's repairs or tires. So this should set us up for a restart with 10 laps to go. Tyndall getting a wave around right now. So Chuck Sweeting, your current leader, started 24th. Strong run here tonight. Again, not 100% sure with Sweeting. Did he take a qualifying lap or did he opt not to? See if we can get any indication on that. So Sweeting, yeah, no time for the 57. Did not qualify, but he is locked into the field nevertheless. In fact, there was 5 drivers that didn't take a time. Turzak, Sweeting, Wysocki, Funkhauser, and Cobb. So once again here, we're going to see a choose. We're going to see if Sweeting goes high or low from the top spot. So as we expected, 10 laps to go will be the restart here. It'll be Chuck Sweeting on the bottom, Brian McCann the outside. Row 2 will be Casey Bentz, and then the 85 of Mike Cook. Kyle Turzak, Brendan Mefford there in row 3. Steve Durbin in the 42. It's actually the... trying to get a look here. Durbin in the 42, then Zachary Cleek in the 77. And then we have Josh Mears in the 36, and then the 88 of Jason Nilgis. That's your top 10 as we get ready for the restart. Post-race, folks, stick around. Don't go far. We're going to get our top 3 in relatively quickly. Be shorter commercials this time as long as everybody gets into their positions quickly. We got a race to settle first. Pace car is in, coming back to the line. Green flag will be in the air, and we'll have 10 laps to go. Sweeting on the gas, Brian McCann the same, but not a great reaction out of the 3. He's going to have to contend with the 27 of Casey Bentz as they work down into turn number 1. got trouble again. Chris Wally in trouble off turn number 4. So is Matt Kopp. 75 in the 50 off turn number 4. Looks like Larry Bruner picks up a piece of this. So does the 25 machine. That's Grady Ray. So caution number 7 here with 9 laps to go. Let's take a peek, shall we? Looks like it's already underway here. So we'll watch the 50 of Matt Kopp. Looks like he's chasing the race car a bit. Lost a lot of momentum, which allows Chris Wally to close the gap. While he tries to go outside, I don't know if they made contact or not. It's hard to say. But Kopp gets upset here. He's going to lose the back of the car, and Wally does the same. I don't know if it's contact related or not. It could have been. Bruner goes up, gets into Nuke quick, so he gets crossed up. And Bruner comes down and clips Grady Ray. So caution number 7. We've got 8 laps to go now. And interestingly enough, Casey Bentz was in front of the 3 of McCann at the time of caution, so Bentz will jump up into that second spot. That'll give Brian McCann the inside starting position here, depending on what he chooses. Again, Mike Cook filling us in here earlier on in the race about a choose line tonight, choose rule. Really cool to see that implemented, at least by this series. Would love to see it added by iRacing and make it an official thing. I understand there may be some hesitation with that just because it could create some significant chaos as far as, oh, I didn't know. And now you get the black flag. Not as big of a deal in league racing, but in officials really could sour some people, I think. But I still think it should be added. At least made as an option. Maybe make it part of the A-class. Officials only. So I don't know. I think we should get the one to go this time. So 6 laps remain when we take the green flag yet again. That should help us get it settled, but aggression level is up. Cautions breeding cautions. We might not be done seeing the yellow flag. You never know. So with that, Bentz gives up the second position to take the bottom lane. It's going to open up the front row now for Brian McCann. I find that rather interesting. I mean, Bentz is a pretty decent driver out there, clearly. He's been a strong runner all night long. But as loose as he's been in that race car, I don't know if you want to be down low. Got to put more wheel into it to get the car to turn because it's a shorter radius on the bottom of the racetrack. But maybe there's more grip. Again, I'm not in the race car. I don't know. But from this perspective up here in the booth, I don't know if I'd want the bottom, at least in his position. Pace car is in. We're ready for the restart here. Barney with the green in hand. We approach the restart zone. There we are. Green flag called for. It waves. We're back underway. Chuck Sweeting on the throttle here. Again, a little bit of a repeat of the last restart. Battle between second place Brian McCann and Casey Bentz there in the 27. Brandon Mefford works to the outside of Mike Cook in the 85. Sweeting leads them into 3 and 4. Bent's now to the second spot. McCann slips back to third. Brandon Mefford, Mike Cook rounding out the top 5. At the line, it'll be 5 laps to go, but the yellow is out again. Chris Mefford in trouble. Been a tough afternoon for the 46/44 of Chris Mefford. Definitely some damage to the rear of that machine. See what happened here to Mefford just a moment ago. Gets into William Tyndall again up the racetrack and just barely missing the 34. Hard impact driver's side. I don't know how he missed. Well, maybe he didn't miss Wysocki because the 34 got a little loose off of exit. Just barely touching the back of his car. So I'll be willing to bet that's all she wrote for Chris Mefford tonight. So now let's try it again here. We should get a restart with 3 laps to go. With that, we're going to step aside, get a short break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Back at Michigan Speedway field, about a half lap away from going back to green flag racing. We have 3 to go right now, so we're going to get a natural green-white checkered out of this. This does not count towards our allotment of 3 green-white checkered finishes. So we're going to try it here naturally first, see where it takes us. On the front row, it'll be Chuck Sweeting again, then Brian McCann. Sweeting going to take the inside line yet again. McCann up top. Then row 2, it's Bentz and Brandon Mefford. Pace car is in, approaching the restart zone.
Green flag.
Late in the zone, Sweeting goes. McCann drops right down to the inside here, tucks in behind Sweeting. Bentz running in third. Mefford taking a peek to the outside for the third spot. Down the back straightaway here, a lap and a half more to go. Now the 42 is Steve Durbin taking a look to the outside on Brandon Mefford. Nothing doing there. McCann trying to hold off Bentz for the second spot. Sweeting well in control, crosses the stripe. Final lap, white flag in the air. McCann not worried about the race lead right now. He's trying to hold off Casey Bentz. Bentz real loose in the middle of 1 and 2. We've seen that all afternoon long, but off turn number 2, does everybody get it to stick? Half a lap away from completion. Sweeting into turns 3 and 4. McCann a tenth and a half back, just a car length plus. Back to the 3 of McCann. Does he have enough? I don't think so. Off turn number 4 for the final time. The 57 is Sweeting. Started 24th, and he's going to take the checkered flag. Sweeting wins at Michigan. McCann finishes second. Casey Bentz comes home in the third spot. Strong run out of the 57 to Chuck Sweeting. Durzak comes in, congratulates. Sweeting with some donuts. Now it looks like he's going to take a Polish victory lap. Or will he? No, he's just going to do his burnouts and head right back down to pit lane. Call it a day. Sweeting parks it in the pits here. We're going to step aside, get a short break out of the way. We'll have our top 3 finishers up in the broadcast booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Michigan Speedway, race 1 of segment 2 of the IROC Challenge Series in the books. Chuck Sweeting from 24th position taking home the checkered flag. We're going to pull the driver number 57 up to the broadcast booth and get a word with the driver of that 57 machine. Black and green machine, that's all there is to it. Chuck Sweeting, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
It's going well, sir. Congratulations, man. A 24th starting position here tonight. Drove it through the field to the point. Once you got out in front, never looked back. Brian McCann was there, but couldn't put the charge on to get around you. What was the key to success tonight, and why didn't you take a time in qualifying?
First race with the league, I usually don't qualify. I just try to kind of feel it out and see what the guys are like that I'm racing around. And I don't know, after it started, I saw they were all pretty good and pretty well in control, so I started moving up through there. And I think the biggest thing that helped me there at the end was all those cautions, because I don't know, just about everybody in the top 5 was good enough to win tonight.
Well, you brought it home first. You take that win in your first appearance here, obviously a new name. No sponsors on that machine, but with an I rating that you've got and the ability you have out on the racetrack, we're going to get some logos on that machine soon enough?
We'll see. It's hard to get any interest when you become a senior citizen, so I'm not really too worried about it. It's just fun to race. That's all I care about, just having fun.
Having fun is certainly important. We mix things up, of course, next week. We go to Bristol Motor Speedway. I don't know if some would call that fun. Some do, some don't, but it certainly gets exciting. What are your thoughts on the short track and the high banks at Bristol next week?
I'm one of those that says it's usually not fun. I don't know, it's hard not to get caught up in a wreck there unless you're leading the whole way, and I'm not really good enough at Bristol to do that, so I don't know, we'll see how it works out. I have to try to survive and be there at the end and see what I've got.
So should we expect to see you maybe try a qualifying attempt next week, try to get that track position, stay out front, or at least get near the front early on?
Possibly. I have to see how the car feels, how it handles, how everybody does in practice, and then I'll make a decision right before qualifying.
Well, fair enough, Chuck. Congratulations again here, taking the win here at Michigan. Anybody you want to shout out to before I let you get out of here?
Just thanks to the admins for all the hard work they do. I know it's a lot to put on these things, and appreciate them letting me be a part of the league. And we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good, Chuck. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
All right, thanks, Steve. Have a good one.
Too. Chuck Sweeting, your race winner here at Michigan Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to our runner-up, Brian McCann. Pull Brian up into the booth and get a word with the driver of the number 3 machine. Cool paint scheme this week, a little hybrid between senior and junior. Certainly, I'm a fan, but either way, Brian, a second-place finish. You started outside pole, you finish outside front row. Walk us through your race. Was there anything you had left in the tank there for Chuck Sweeting there at the end? It seemed like you had equal footing as far as tires were concerned.
Yeah, he was fast. Top 5 was fast, so you know, track position was king there at the end. We just didn't have long enough to run to be able to get separated or allow me to pass. But no, he was really quick, so it was tough all race keeping up with him and Casey and some of the other drivers. It was some close racing there, especially Kyle. Me and him went door to door at the very beginning for a long time.
You and the 51 of Turzak certainly put on one whale of a show there mid-portion of the race, but I want to ask about the draft. I know we've seen that in the trucks really come into play here at Michigan. Was it a factor here in the Xfinity car being race 1 of the segment?
Yeah, draft was huge. If you had somebody in front of you in like a second or whatever, you could reel them in real fast. And lead car, you kind of had to play off of that too, because if they're back there, you know they're going to catch you, so no use in burning your stuff up. So tire saving was king here, just like it is almost every week.
Well, next week, race number 2. We're not messing around. We're jumping right into Bristol Motor Speedway, the High Bank half mile. I don't know, man. The last Coliseum, how has that place been to you?
As long as you can avoid the wrecks, pretty good. So, yeah, I like that track. Some real close, fast racing.
All right, Brian. Well, a job well done here. Runner-up finish at Michigan. Who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, my family, you for doing the broadcast, everybody helping out on this league, including our sponsors and drivers showing up, everybody watching this week. Thank you.
All right, Brian. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week. Brian McCann, your runner-up here at Michigan Speedway. Next would have been Casey Bentz, but we don't have him up into the booth or in the waiting room. So, again, either way, a strong run tonight for Casey Bentz, the number 27 machine. I don't know why, but that thing just reminds me of Casey Atwood. Again, I might be dating myself here. I've been watching this stuff for a long time. I'm starting to get into my mid-40s here, but he had a strong run here tonight. Had some issues there. Out of turn number 2 a bunch of times trying to catch the race car. Very loose on exit, but he battled back and still finishes solid here with a top 3 finish. Just too bad we weren't able to chat with him. But either way, want to give him a pat on the back and a kudos for a race well done for the driver of that number 27 Toyota. Highest finishing Toyota in the field here tonight. That was Casey Bentz. With that, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 2 and talked about our 3rd place finisher, Casey Bentz. 4th was Steve Durbin. 5th place went to Mike Koch. He's finally correcting me after a couple of seasons of IROC Challenge Series of me pronouncing it wrong. It's Koch like Scotch. Mike, I appreciate you filling me in there, man. Anybody out there who I'm saying your last name wrong, please don't hesitate to let me know. I may not get it right away after that, but I'll fix it going forward. I'll try to remember everybody's last name's pronunciations. It's a challenge sometimes, but Mike, I do appreciate that. Moving down the line, 6th place finish was Brandon Mefford. Zachary Kleek, who is the driver of the number 77, he finished 7th. The son of Todd Kleek, got that straightened away this week as well. Joshua Mears was 8th. Kyle Turzak finished 9th. Man, strong run with the 51 here tonight. I know he's lights out with a late model stock. Had a great battle with Brian McCann, as Brian mentioned in his interview during this race. If you guys missed it, go back and watch it. That was a fun one. Mike McDonald was 10th. Jason Nilgis was 11th. 12th place went to Garrett Johnston. Adam Benefield was 13th. Brent Butler, a strong run. Led some laps here tonight. Had some troubles early on, but battled back. A 14th place finish for the 76. Neil Quick was 15th. Tim Schofield, 16th. Todd Kleek was 17th. Duke Quick comes home in the 18th position. 19th went to Chris Wally. 20th was Doug Wysocki. William Tyndall was 21st. 22nd, Matt Kopp. Larry Bruner, 23rd. Grady Reyes, 24th. Chris Mefford, I think he had a right strategy tonight. He had an opportunity to get back up there. I don't know what happened with his fast repair situation. Did he burn it? Did he not? I don't know, but a tough night for the 46 of Chris Mefford. 5 laps down in 25th. Watch him next week. If he runs out at the short track at Bristol, he is going to be fast. Jesse King, also a strong run tonight, but not the finish he was looking for. 26th place for the 22, 20 laps down. And Josh Funkhauser, classified in the field, but credited dead last, 100 laps down, did not take the green flag. Not sure the situation there with the 81. But that is your race results here from Michigan Speedway, race 1 of segment number 2. Got to thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Certainly do appreciate that. Again, apologize for me being a little under the weather. If my excitement was lacking tonight, that is why. We'll try to get that squared away, hopefully before the next broadcast. We're going to miss you guys next week. Unfortunately, I am traveling for the day job, so I won't be there. It looks like Casey Bentz might be available. He is in the waiting room. I'm going to try and pull him up into the booth, even though it looks like he is muted. Casey Bentz, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got a copy? He's there, but he's muted. Well, unfortunately, we won't get a word with Casey tonight. He tried. Can't fault him for it. It might just be a matter of giving him some permissions to get that handled, but I'm sure we're going to be talking to Casey again here in the future. Just going back to our exit strategy here. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already done so, check us out, youtube.com/@HBRTV1. And I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag here now. You saw the commercial a few times tonight. Things are changing for us here at HBR TV coming up in January 2025. We're going to kind of rebrand a little bit. Things are going in a different direction. We're no longer going to be HBR TV, which is Holler Boys Racing TV. We're going to be Track Limits Network. Going to try and open things up to a wider, I guess you could call it demographic. I know I love calling oval races, but I'm certainly a road course guy at heart. So we're trying to bring some of that to the mix as well. But that's why you're seeing that. You're going to continue to see that. Spread the word. Some branding will change. So if all of a sudden you don't see that HBR TV logo, don't be concerned. We're not really going anywhere. We're just going to look a little different in 2025. But that'll wrap it up for us. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Congratulations to Chuck Sweeting winning his first race of the IROC Challenge Series and race number 1 of segment number 2. Tune in for the next one, folks. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching.